Next up on track, it is going to be a series we've not seen so far this weekend, the Carbon8 Hyundai Coupe Cup Series in partnership with Toyo Tyres. Second meeting of the season for this budget saloon series, aimed at getting newcomers into racing. Started 10 years ago by long-time racer and former Car Magazine editor John Winter. He runs the Exit 13 vehicle graphics company based in Milton Keynes. Exit 13 was by junction 13 of the M1. Great entertainer is John, and he firmly believes in the philosophy that motorsport should be fun. It certainly is great fun. The Carbon8 Lighting Coupe Cup Series with Toyo Tyres, open to any Hyundai Coupe, any generation. We've seen generation 1, 2 and 3 cars in the series up to now. We've also got out there a couple of the new S3 Coupe, the newer design. One of those is being raced by the man who dominated the opening 2 races of the season at Cadwell Park up in Lincolnshire, Alex Kersley. He and the number 17 of Wayne Rocket have done the majority of the winning in this series over the last few years. So we'll see the Hyundais out on track shortly. There's a bit of clearing up to do from the junior saloons first of all. A bit of bodywork to be cleared away, a couple of cars being recovered as well. I'll take you through the grid shortly. So the favourites likely to be Wayne Rockets and Alex Kersley, but neither of them, I can tell you, has taken pole position. It's number 69, Alistair Dendy, with his new car, has put his car on pole position with number 1, Alex Kersley, alongside him. Second row, 87 of Neil Hurren, the ex-Toyota MR2 racer, alongside 43 of Adam Jones. Row 3, we've got Luca Staccini Anzanello, to give his full name. Brilliant debut for him at Cadwell Park, taking a second place. He's on row 3 alongside Wayne Rocket in number 17. Matt Mitter, number 10, is on row 4. He had a podium at Cadwell Park as well, starts alongside Michael Evans in number 5. Row 5, Eddie O'Kane in the number 9 car. That's the O'Kane Irish Foods car, alongside 51 Paul Lorry, not to be confused with the golfer of the same name. Row 6 is Becca Taylor, she's new to racing this year. And 26 Roger Owens, he's got one of the new S3 coupes in this race. Darren Banks, number 27, on row 7 alongside Johnny Rocket. Great name that is. He's the son of Wayne. And Spencer Hirons and Kevin Sandford will round out the grid. We'll have the cars lined up then. They're just coming out of the assembly area now. The course car just completing a lap to make sure the circuit is being cleared. Thank you to our volunteer marshals once again. So the grid is in position then. In pole position there is the number 69 Alistair Dendy, the Unit 18 automotive sponsored Gen 3 Coupe, Unit 18 being a Volkswagen Audi Group specialist, alongside that beautiful looking number 1 of Alex Kersley, the series champion. There's no points on the Hyundai Coupe Cup. It is a series, not a championship, but the most meritorious driver each year is given the number 1. Stunning looking S3 Coupe there, the new car, sponsored by Lancaster Insurance, the Lancaster Bomber we call Alex Kersley. Neil Hurren's there in the plain white, number 87. We don't seem to have Adam Jones, number 43. He may have had some problems in qualifying. But the number 17 is there. Wayne Rockets from Denmead in Hampshire. Runs a car dealership and also the Rockets Wraps and Graphics business. Applying some of the liveries to this series. Alongside him, it will be Luca Staccini off the inside there, the black and gold car. A couple of these drivers document their exploits via their YouTube channels. You can look them up online. Becca Taylor is one of them. Look up Driving Bex, B-E-X, on YouTube. She has vlogs of her racing experience. New to racing over the last few months. From Louth in Lincolnshire, near Cadwell Park. We'll see her further back on the grid for this one. This will be a 15-minute race. Well, while we wait for this race to get underway, they'll be heading off on the green flag lap shortly. Just waiting for a bit of clearing up to be done. Ewan caught up with a couple of the drivers in the paddock earlier on.
Here we are then ahead of our first race of the weekend in the Carbon8 Hyundai. It's got Alex Kersley here, car number 1, and very successful in the Hyundai 8 Coupe. Start that again. Carbon8 Hyundai. Here we are then, we have found our pole sitter, Alistair Dendy. Alistair, first of all, great lap.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talk us through it.
Well, my first fast lap was a mess. I nearly spun it, went across the grass, gathered myself up, had another go, and it was just really, really quick, and that was it. I pitted.
How are track conditions? There's been a little bit of drizzle, a bit of oil out there too.
Yeah, it's quite unpredictable. Quorum is odd. It's got grip at the first half, and the second half is, strange.
Talk us through. You weren't at Cadwell Park where Alex had 2 wins because you had an accident.
Yeah, I crashed my road car 2 weeks before Cadwell and broke some ribs, so I couldn't race. But yeah, back today.
And how was the old ribs today?
Pretty sore.
Not sore enough to stop you getting pole though?
No, and hopefully not sore enough to stop me winning the race, but we'll see.
All right, mate. Good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. That is Alex and Alistair, our front pole sitters for the race today. The first of 2 Hyundai Coupe Cups with Toyo tyres. Over to your commentator for the race, Dave Goddard.
Cars are now underway for this first of 2 races today for the Carbon8 Hyundai Coupe Cup. It is the Gen 3 of Alistair Dendy, who we heard from in pole position. Certainly looks very impressive, the Unit 18 sponsored car. Good to have him back after that incident with his road car earlier this season. One to watch here could be Luca Staccini, comes from Perugia in Italy. He's raced in Club 100 karts and also in the Enduro car series. Works as a music producer and sound engineer and a disc jockey. Look him up on YouTube as well. Very smartly prepared number 28 car. Could be one to watch here. Best result of 2nd on his debut at Cadwell Park. Alex Kersley and Wayne Rockets, as we mentioned, are the winningest drivers, you could say, over the last few years. There's Michael Evans, the Cadbury's Caramel car, as I call it, the yellow and purple. Car I was lucky enough to do a couple of laps of Silverstone in at the beginning of 2020. There's the 120, that's Driving Bex, as she's known, Becca Taylor. Alistair Dendy, number 1 of Alex Kersley. In the background there, gorgeous Ford Mustang in the crowd. Oh, Becca Taylor's got a problem. The 120 car pulls over on the Bentley straight, so that's probably going to be a delay to the start while they get that car sorted out. She's signalling to the marshals. There's a problem with the 120 car. That's a great shame for Becca. There's the number 51, that's Paul Lorry. Another S3 coupe, that's Roger Owens, 26. There's that Ford Mustang on the top left of the picture there. Nice if we could get that out to do a few laps. Another S3, the new shape coupe we've got out there is Darren Banks, number 27, the red car. Darren Banks, sales director for Michael Banks Cars, also based in Andover in Hampshire. Becca's got it running again, so the marshals have fixed whatever the last second hitch was there for Becca. Driving Bex. First drive in the car was only 3 days, she tells us, before her first race at Cadwell Park. Okay, cars in position. Then we are missing the number 43, unfortunately, of Adam Jones from the 2nd row of the grid. This will be a 15-minute race. Alistair Dendy on pole. Alex Kersley will start as the favourite, going for 3 wins out of 3 this year. Neil Hurren behind them in the plain white car, number 87. We're just waiting for Becca Taylor to get up to the, I suspect she will start from the back of the grid. That's the Generation 1 Hyundai Coupe. You can tell the Gen 1 and 2 cars apart because the Gen 2 cars have double headlights. Here we go then, the race gets underway. No, we didn't wait for Becca Taylor to catch up to the back of the grid. They get underway anyway. And down towards the first corner they go. Alistair Dendy in the Gen 3 Coupe, number 69 on the inside. The number 1 on the outside is Alex Kersley. They're all away well. Decent start by Paul Lorry in the 51. 3 wide behind him. Roger Owens trying to go round the outside in the 26. Side by side for the lead as they head into the hairpin for the first time. Alistair Dendy's got the lead. Neil Hurren up the inside. They're 3 wide still behind. It's very close, these virtually standard Hyundai Coupes. Several of them prepared by John Winter. Only real modifications allowed are safety measures. I think Neil Hurren's gone wide there. Yes, Alex Kersley up the inside to take second place coming out of Palmer's, but it's Alistair Dendy, number 69, the Unit 18 car, that's got the lead. Here comes Wayne Rocket. He started back on row 3. He's going to go through on the inside of Neil Hurren coming out of Agostini. Side by side there, the white and blue halved car. Note the zipper design down the middle. Shades of the BAR when they made their debut in Formula 1. Remember that livery? The 555 Lucky Strike livery, half and half. That's how the Rockets have liveried their cars, Wayne and Johnny. There is Luca Staccini, the number 28 car on the left of your screen. He's fallen behind Eddie O'Kane there, the number 9. Runs YourIrishShop.com and O'Kane Irish Foods. Wonder if they sell Guinness. Eddie O'Kane trying to close up here on the leading group. Neil Hurren holding off Wayne Rocket for third place. It's Dendy who leads from Kersley. Tried by Neil Hurren so far, the plain whites, number 87. Bit of a lock up there from Eddie O'Kane in 5th position in the number 9. 6 behind him is Luca Staccini. I think it's Matt Mitter behind them in car number 10. Head out into the bomb hole for the first time. Still Alistair Dendy who has got the lead from Kersley. Now, has Becca Taylor got going, the 120 car? Saw her trying to come round to the grid there. Luca Staccini with the Italian flag on his rear wing. Chasing now Eddie O'Kane. He's a bit wide onto the curb there. Wayne Rocket trying to go side by side with Neil Hurren as they come through to complete lap number 1. Over the line go the leaders. Just over a second in it between Dendy and Kersley. Then it's Rocket and Hurren exactly side by side. 7,000ths of a second separated them as they went over the line. Matt Mitter, number 10 in the black car, trying to make his way through on the inside. Eddie O'Kane holds him off. Staccini in behind them, so Mitter's made up 1 place there. Behind them is Darren Banks, number 27 in the S3. Lifting a wheel there, Alex Kersley, as Neil Hurren continues to hold off Wayne Rocket for third place. Rocket was ahead, but only just at the line. Paul Lorry and Johnny Rocket round out the top 10. Johnny had a podium at Brands Hatch at the end of last season. Managed to beat his father. Johnny Rocket began his racing career on BMX bikes, if I remember rightly. Quite successful in those. They head down towards the left-hander at Agostini once again. Still Wayne Rocket, Rocket Senior, unable to do anything about Neil Hurren ahead of him. Eddie O'Kane is next, then Staccini's got back ahead of Matt Mitter. Banks and Lorry next, then Michael Evans, and behind him is Johnny Rocket. Michael Evans' car repaired after a smash at Brands Hatch last season. Not the fastest cars you've got here, but very closely matched. Snetterton today. This is a great way to break into motor racing if you've ever wanted to have a go. Darren Banks there in that very smart 27 car, chased by the number 51. That's Paul Lorry. Becca Taylor has got going again, and she's ahead of the number 21 car, Kevin Sanford, at the back of the field. But it's still Alistair Dendy, number 69, who leads the way. Based in Milton Keynes, near to John Winter. It's an ex-John Winter car that he is racing today, which I think was the first Gen 3 Coupe to be raced in the Hyundai Coupe Cup by its founder, John Winter, celebrating its 10th season this year, this budget racing series. They've entered a team of cars through the Coupes into the BARC 6-hour relay at Silverstone. They won it a few years ago. The relay race, as Eddie O'Kane battling with Luca Staccini there. Staccini goes wide onto the curb. It's going to allow Matt Mitter to come through in the value rater back to number 10 car. Side by side over the line. This is for 6th position. Banks behind them. Then it's Paul Lorry. Then we've got Michael Evans in the yellow number 5. Back up the inside is Staccini. Look up his racing on YouTube as well. There's Johnny Rockets, further back in the order. It's tricky to tell Wayne and Johnny Rockets' cars apart, and there's contact at the hairpin. Matt Mitter climbs over the curb into the side of Eddie O'Kane there. Get off, says the number 9. There's damage to the front of the 10 car of Matt Mitter. Darren Banks getting involved as well. Well, they all bottled up into the hairpin there behind Luca Staccini. That's allowed the first 4 to get away. Dendy from Kersley, Curran, and Wayne Rockets still stuck at the back of this group. Wayne Rockets' car's got the pink mirrors. I think Johnny Rockets has got green wing mirrors. That's how you tell them apart. Darren Banks has got ahead there of Matt Mitter. There you see Johnny Rockets' car with the identical livery. He's ahead of Roger Owens in the other S3 in the race. Midfield battle continuing to heat up. This is for 5th position. Now Darren Banks is up to 6th and he's challenging the number 9 of Eddie O'Kane in the Gen 2 car with the double round headlights there. It's the S3 behind them and Matt Mitter trying to close up. Matt Mitter's fired up after that collision with Eddie O'Kane, I think. Paul Lorry behind them. Then we've got Michael Evans in the yellow and purple machine. Darren Banks sponsored by Michael Banks Cars. This is their sales director. Further back we've got Johnny Rocket ahead of Roger Owens. Behind them further back in the order is Spencer Hirons in the 65. Becca Taylor's next, then Sanford, and of course the 43 car didn't take the start. Things cooling down a little after those earlier midfield exchanges. It's still Alistair Dendy who has got the lead. The edge of adhesion there through the right-hander at Coram. He's locking a wheel slightly there, Paul Lorry. Somebody's kicked up some dust in the background. Leaders have gone over the line already. A second between Dendy and Kersley now. Fastest lap of the race by Neil Hurren, 2:25.347. He's trying to pull away from Wayne Rocket into 3rd place. This is the battle for 5th. Staccini ahead of O'Kane now. And Banks in 7th. 8th is Matt Mitter. Paul Lorry 9th. Michael Evans is 10th. His father Alan has raced with him in the series for a few years as well, but I think Alan's car got wrecked at the end of last season at Brands Hatch. He had a collision with Andy Wilmot, if I remember rightly. There's one of the Evans family involved there anyway. In fact, I think it might have been Michael racing Alan's car. Have to have a look back at our footage from last year to be certain. Swing their way through the left-hander once again. Still Alistair Dendy leads the way. Alex Kersley, the double winner at Cadwell Park, giving chase. Paul Lorry and Eddie O'Kane further back. They took podium finishes in the 2nd race at Cadwell Park. There is our leader, the beautiful blue and white number 69, the Unit 18 automotive car of Alistair Denby. There's the 3rd place fight, still Neil Hurren, and with the fastest lap of the race at the moment, holding back Wayne Rocket. I mentioned that Rocket has been one of the most successful drivers along with Alex Kersley in this series over the last few years. That's no mean feat to be able to hold him off all the way for 3rd. Just under 6 minutes of this race to go. It's 4 quite a way clear. They're 8 seconds clear of Staccini, who's now in 5th position. Is everybody still running further back? Yes, they certainly are, with the exception, of course, of Adam Jones. Towards the bomb hole, through the drop, and then up towards Coram, and into Murray's. With a lock up there from Rocket in 4th place. There's Staccini in the background on his own now in 5th position. He's trying to catch this lead group, and now Wayne Rocket gets the better exit from Murray's there. He's finally going to go through into 3rd, or is he? Fighting back up the outside is Neil Hurren as they head over the line. Lead gap increased by just under half a second that time through. Alistair Denby pulling away slightly. Hurren's back on the inside, but Rockets has got the move done, and he's up into third position. Now he'll get the hammer down and go after the two leaders in the two later cars. It's Kersley closing up slightly there into the hairpin, and Wayne Rocket runs in too wide there into the hairpin. Neil Hurren was a bit late on the brakes as well. This battle continuing to intensify. Here's the next group. Stacchini is through into a clear 5th place. 6th is Eddie O'Kane. He runs wide on the hairpin. Darren Banks is there in the red car. Matt Mitter behind them in the number 10. Great fight between these three. And behind them Paul Lorry as well in the number 51, the purple, white and green and probably several other colours car. Nearly a change for third there. Neil Hurren had a look into Agostini. Here comes Darren Banks. This is down into the left-hander at Agostini. Darren Banks at the inside. He goes through into 6th place. Matt Mitter trying to follow him. O'Kane out on the wide line again. Mitter's on the curbs. There's Paul Lorry behind them in that multicoloured number 51. Michael Evans in number 5 in the Stroke Association promoting car. And they're being closed down by Johnny Rocket and by Roger Owens as well. And off goes Eddie O'Kane onto the grass. Now, the Hyundai Coupe in the late 90s was briefly used in rallying. Australian Wayne Bell was their leading driver. Not sure of their form as a rallycross car. We did see one in Clubman's Rallycross driven by Martin Rogers a couple of times. Bit of rallycross there from Eddie O'Kane. Lost out to Matt Mitter. He's got Paul Lorry and Michael Evans up behind now. This is the battle for 6th position. Just over 3 minutes to go. There's Johnny Rocket behind them. Certainly a great looking car, the new S3 Coupe, isn't it? First time this year we've seen those cars in this series. Michael Evans closing up on the number 51 of Paul Lorry. Lead gap is up to 2 seconds now. New fastest lap by Alistair Dendy. He's done a 2:24.553. Wayne Rocket is now established in third. He's pulled a second clear of Neil Hurren as Matt Mitter gets ready to try and attack Darren Banks for 6th position. Stacchini is on his own now in 5th place. He's not really catching Neil Hurren either, as Darren Banks under real pressure from Matt Mitter, who gets the cut back on the inside of the exit of Riches. He's going to be later on the brakes for the hairpin as well. And Matt Mitter through into 6th position. Eddie O'Kane has a go as well, nearly clips the back of Banks as Matt Mitter misses his braking point. He got all the work done into the hairpin and then braked too late. Darren Banks takes the place back again. This is terrific stuff in the midfield. Up towards Agostini they go. Roger Owens has dropped back a little, as we can see there in the 26 from Johnny Rocket. As Eddie O'Kane, big lock up there. Nearly into the back of Matt Mitter. I think Eddie O'Kane might be having some braking issues, and Matt Mitter's having issues staying off the curbs. Runs wide there, coming out of the left-hander as Agostini. They're all queuing up behind Darren Banks to try and have a go at the new 27 car here. Outside the top 10, we've got Johnny Rocket, Roger Owens, then it's Spencer Hirons, the navy blue number 65, is 13th. Then Becca Taylor and the 21 of Kevin Sanford round out the field as Matt Mitter attacks. He goes through up the inside, forces his way down the inside at Williams. Here comes Eddie O'Kane. Banks has lost momentum there. As a result, they see a bit of damage to the left rear corner of the white and maroon O'Kane Irish Foods car. They're going to be 3 wide under the bridge if they play their cards right. Matt Mitter's going to be later on the brakes. Eddie O'Kane up the inside again on the grass. He's really throwing that car around. So Paul Lorry closing up on him now as well in the 51. The MSO Web Agency car. Down the drop into the bomb hole. Out the other side. Matt Mitter trying to get his foot down and escape here. The leader has just gone over the line. Alistair Dendy's nearly 3.5 seconds clear of Alex Kersley now, so Alistair Dendy looking good for his first win of the season. Started his racing career in karts in the 1990s before racing at Castle Combe briefly in a Peugeot 309 of all things. Then had a break from the sport before moving into Citroen C1s in recent years and the Enduro car series as well. There he is, still leading, pulling away from Alex Kersley, who I think is now under threat from Wayne Rocket, his big rival of the last few years. But there's a new name on top by the look of it in the Hyundai Coupe Cup, sponsored by Carbon8 LED lighting in partnership with Toyo tyres, and that's Alistair Dendy. He's heading for his first win of the season. Rocket is closing down Kersley. Neil Hurren looking on from 4th place. Dendy's done the fastest lap of the race, 2:24.553. Running wide there, Kersley coming out of Agostini, but Wayne Rocket is not able to capitalise. You can see now the lead gap has spread out slightly. Stacchini still 6th, then it's Mitter ahead of Banks, O'Kane and Laurie, the last we looked. Pick up the midfield battle shortly. But I think Alex Kersley is going to be defeated here for the first time in 2022 in the Carbon8 Hyundai Coupe Cup. Down the Bentley Straight they go for what will be the final time. They will complete 7 laps of this, one of the longest circuits in UK national racing. Snetterton 300 layout. Alistair Dendy has controlled this race from the start, from pole position. In the Generation 3 Coupe, the ex-John Winter car. Beautiful blue and white livery. Wayne Rocket is not finished yet. He's having a go at Alex Kersley. He wants 2nd place. 2 big guns of the series, arguably these two. Quick stab of the brakes there through the bomb hole and Coram just for confidence. They're up in towards Murray's though for the final time. I don't think Rocket's going to get through. It's going to be a win though for Alistair Dendy. The checkered flag awaits. Alistair Dendy heads up the Senna Straight for the final time and takes the checkered flag. Dendy wins it. 2nd place is going to go to Alex Kersley, I think. They're going to finish almost side by side, just 1/10 of a second in it. Kersley takes 2nd, Rocket 3rd, Neil Hurren 4th. Great race there between the top 4. 5th place is going to go to Luca Stacchini in the number 28 car, and then the battle behind headed up by Darren Banks, ahead of O'Kane, Johnny Rocket. Michael Evans on the grass there almost out of the final corner. He's going to try and make a move on Johnny Rocket here. Matt Mitter has taken 6th place. It's Banks in 7th. In fact, then O'Kane, Laurie, and a photo finish behind Michael Evans. I think just got there ahead of Johnny Rocket by less than 2/10 of a second. Roger Owens is next home. Then a gap back to Spencer Hirons in the 65 car. Becca Taylor and Kevin Sanford will complete the finishers. Here's Becca, driving Bex. Driving home in the 120. Had to start from the back after problem on the green flag lap. Read all about it on her social media and in her video blog on YouTube. Here she comes. Into the left-hander. Well done, Becca. Her first ever race at Snetterton. Only her 2nd meeting in the series. There's Spencer Hirons. Just crossed the line. Bex Taylor comes in to take the flag. Final finisher will be Kevin Sanford. Good stuff then from the Carbon8 Hyundai Coupe Cup. They have another race later on, our final race of the day. Be another 15-minute thrash for the Coupes. The win goes to Alistair Dendy, his first win of the season. Taking the win ahead of Alex Kersley by 4.5 seconds at the flag. He was just over a 10th of a second clear of Wayne Rocket, who was challenging hard in the final couple of laps. Neil Hurren taking 4th ahead of Luca Stacchini, and then the fight for 6th place headed up by Matt Mitter, 3 seconds clear of Darren Banks. He just held off the battling Eddie O'Kane, Paul Laurie, Michael Evans, and then Johnny Rockets. Roger Owens was next home ahead of Spencer Hirons in 13th, 14th for Becca Taylor, and Kevin Sanford, the final finisher, in 15th place. Adam Jones, unfortunately qualified on the 2nd row, didn't take the start. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from some of the drivers shortly. Our next race, the last one before the lunch break, is going to be the Brick Car Trophy. We can head down shortly to Ewan in Parc Fermé as the final car. Kevin Sanford crosses the line. Let's hear from some of the drivers at Hyundai down in Park.
Here's Dave here in Park Fermé with our race winner. Well done, Alistair. On paper, that looks quite straightforward, but it wasn't really, was it?
He's just driven into my car. No, it wasn't. It wasn't straightforward. It was hard hanging on to the tyres at the end. I had to really push at the start to get away from Alex, and then it always looks easy when you win, but it wasn't.
I mean, when you got out the car there, you were sort of like crunched over a bit. How are the ribs?
It's pretty sore.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty sore. Every curb is like.
One more race today. You're going to be okay though, yeah?
Yeah, some paracetamol and maybe a rub down. Yeah.
Yeah, drugs. Good idea. Good luck. We look forward to seeing you later, mate.
Lovely. Thank you. Cheers.
Right, let's speak to Alex here, who's just to our right-hand side. Then we'll have a chat with Wayne here. He's just literally just driven into the back of our race winner. Alex, congratulations, mate. Second place. It's how you kind of predicted, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to try and nail them on the start, but I just couldn't quite rein them in.
It was almost like for that race there was like a force field between the two of you. You just couldn't close him down.
Yeah, I felt it. Yeah, it's. I overheard Ali saying about tyres. It is more about tyre management on these, and I just didn't manage them as well as Ali did.
When you say you didn't manage them, what can you do differently? What do you mean by that?
I suppose just go a bit easier on them, really. Just try and make them last a little bit longer, keep them in that window for a bit longer. And I'm learning. Although it's the same tyre as the old car, it's bigger. The car's different, so it's just learning.
And you had a good view in your rear view mirror of your old car there too, Neil.
I know, yeah, she was behind me all the way.
Blowing her kisses.
Yeah, I know. That's all right.
Well done, mate. Second place. We'll look forward to seeing you later.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Right, let's speak to Wayne here and assess some damage. Wayne, mate, amazing racing.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We to come through. Obviously, we qualified a little bit lower than we wanted to, and I was a bit disheartened with being 2 seconds off the pace. But in the race, that was so much fun.
It was great to watch, and you just given us a little kiss there on the bumper.
Well, I just wanted to make Alistair ready for race 2 in a minute.
I'm sure he will be. Congrats.
Cheers, Alan. Thank you.